Hey, welcome back to the Man Cave Workshop. So, moving on, this is another Hacker Hunter RP38a. I've already started doing some work on it, and I wasn't going to put this video out on YouTube, but I thought I might as well while I'm doing it. Now, this one, I'm going to call it a Bitsa, because when you start working on radios, you end up with spares, you end up with bad cases, and with the spares, I've just got a few things together, and this is the case it's going in. It's the full black Rexine case, so it hasn't got the teak ends. Inside it, I've already done quite a bit of work to the actual case itself. Originally, this housed an amp board that's like an L shape. Now, I haven't got any of them spare, but I did have this amp board knocking around. As you can see, I've already recapped it. Just like in the other Hunter video I've done. No point in showing you all that again. You've already seen it. And I'm going to affix it down here. Now what I've had to do is take out the original housing, because they're just these pieces of wood really. Let me go over that way. Because it wouldn't accommodate this amp board. It'd sit up too proud and hit the speaker. So I've took them out. Also, I thought what I'd do with this one is, a common thing that happens with these is the old PP9 batteries were slightly smaller than these modern ones. So what I've done is I've took this holding piece out, which was originally that wide, and just shaved it down, popped it back in. Took this one at the back out, same thing, shaved it down, and now that battery is going to go in really easy and come out. Also took a nibble off this back piece here, so when the battery goes in that way, it's got plenty of clearance. It still doesn't hit the speaker. Now, I had a few speakers knocking about, and I've decided on this one. It's an absolute beauty. It's not the Elec one. It's not marked. I'm assuming it's a Goodman's. I'm not sure though. It's got no markings on it whatsoever. It is for a Hunter, and I'm going to go with this one. I just think it's a lovely condition speaker. Tested it, works really well. So that's going in. Now the board. Also done the recap on this board. All the ones, like I say, in another video. And what I'm just about to do is pull the dial face off, so we can get at these at the buttons and stuff on it. So we take off these trims on the edges. You can see it's a bit mucky. Let's get these wires out of the way. Let's take these 3 screws off this edge. Let's pull the knobs off. There's one. This one's got a bit of a ding in it there. Might hunt have a look, see if I've got one in better condition. This one's a bit marked. What else do we need to pull off? We need to pull off the treble and the bass. You see, this is a 33A because it has a separate treble and bass pot. Oh, these are going to be a pain to get off. Yeah, these don't want to come off. Oh, that one's coming. That one's off. Let's get this one off. Now, it's really tempting when you get a tough one to put a screwdriver down the back there and pull it off that way, but you can damage the face. So what I'm going to do is try to use this tool first. It's like a spatula. It's a bit kinder to the face, just to see if we can get it moving. And just brute force really. What I'll do, I'll pause while I get this button off. I'm just going to pull it off. You don't want to see me do that. So there we go, that's that knob off the top. So it's a bit manky, this set. Let's pull the face off. Have a look at it. bit manky. This one's got the green lettering, some of them have total white lettering. I think we've gone over that in a previous video. Let's have a look in there. What I'll do is just get a soft brush, just clean all the dust out of it, and while it's like this, that needle's faded there. I think that an orange colour is original. I might go over that just to freshen it up. But while it's like this, we'll get some switch cleaner and clean the switch bank from the top and the bottom. All basic stuff, this. Like I say, the main thing's already been done to this. It's been recapped, and so is the amp board. Get that stuff down there, and let's give the on-off switch and volume pot a squirt. Let's see if we can find a gap where we can squirt. Really, we want it in the top, so we will go from this side, I think. Let's have a look at that properly. So I'm just going to pull it out a shot while I look for a gap. Yeah, we can put some cleaner in there. Basic stuff, just clean. I can feel that's really freed up now. So, just going to clean it all up. What I'm going to do with these buttons is put it into a bath of degreaser, and then get a toothbrush, clean them all up, and then we'll go for the assemble and see if it works. So I'm just at the point, you know, reassembling this Hacker Hunter that's made out of 1, 2, 3, 4 different sets. It's a Bitsa, and I did clean the volume, the bass and treble pot while the dial face was off. The buttons are still being, knobs are still being cleaned. Getting to the point where little things you might forget that I do before is to put a little bit of cleaner in these plug holes here, so we don't have any issues with that amp board connected to the main board. Now, if you think about what I've told you in the past, is this used to have, originally this set would have had a L-shaped amp board, and I've converted it to take this later flat one. Also, while we're looking, the batteries fit really nice now after shaving a little bit off. Then battery stays, so there's no, because these are slightly bigger than modern ones than the set was originally made for. So yeah, batteries fit nice. So that's that sorted. And what I've noticed is this aerial, now it's in place, the amp board has one of these stays that fits on the bottom. Now what I'm going to try and do is, this usually sits at about this angle, but this is what happens when you start modifying things. That aerial doesn't line up, so I'm hoping we've got enough clearance to fit it in there, perhaps. If not, what I'll do, I'll glue another grommet on the top of this just to hold it. The reason for this is the aerial's not all the way in position yet. If that has nothing underneath it, which Hacker actually made these for this problem, I think. If somebody goes really heavy pushing the aerial down, all the stress is going to go on this little clamp here that goes onto the board, and it's right on the corner. So I imagine over time, if it kept getting bashed, this would crack or break at some point. So I think it is important to get some sort of support underneath the aerial, and that's what I'm going to attempt to do now. So there we go. I was actually lucky with that. That's in really firm, and I'm going to lift it up so you can see it better. It does support the the downforce of the aerial for when the aerial's closed. It keeps it pretty firm there. It's not going to put any stress on this on the edge of this board, and it's at a funny angle, but it doesn't look too out of place, I don't think. The other thing I've dropped lucky with, I mean sometimes you do get lucky, sometimes you don't, is this external aerial connection here, and this doesn't foul the battery going in. So that was just luck. That I didn't think about these two things before I modified these battery holders to fit these new modern ones in. Just a bit of luck. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes it can open up a whole can of worms. So I'm going to carry on reassembling this set now, and then we'll give it a spin. Yeah, well, we're on it. So I'm carried on putting it all back together. I decided to go with the original knobs on the top that were on it, just clean them up a bit. Now I'm putting it back together, and this is what can happen. So all this dial face has been off. The dial needle doesn't look right. And can we get a close-up on that? Let's show you. It's actually not seated right in the set. It's rubbing against the back of the dial face. So what you've got to do is take all this off again and seat that right, put it all back together. These things happen, just thought I'd show. So this dial face should come off completely again, I suppose, but I've just took that trim off, and without putting too much pressure on it, I can gently lift up the top, and you can see that it's just, the needle's just hooked over that string. We focus in there, we move it up so you can see it better. There we go, that's probably a better view of it. So I'm just going to hook it back underneath and then put it all back together. It's all part of the fun. So carrying on with this set, and it's my own fault for saying, oh, we dropped lucky with all this, what we did down here. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. Now I had tested this out of this set just with test leads, and it was working fine. I was reassembling it and it didn't work. Now I had noticed this is a speaker socket. I had noticed that this looked, this wiring down here, this was off, and after going through the set, scratching my head thinking, oh, what's, you know, why doesn't it work? Now it's back in its case. There's one of the black wires that comes off the amp board is just dangling free down here. So, you know, you can spend hours trying to find these little faults, and it can be something as obvious as that when I do touch it. And it's going to prove me wrong now and not work, isn't it? Where it's supposed to go. And I am going to solder it back on in a minute. It's giving me the runaround, eh? So that's supposed to connect to there, I think. Let's have a look. It's definitely this wire that's causing the issue. What I'll do, I'll pause because I'll just clean up the wires in here and reconnect them all. So yeah, let's get it a little bit closer in. I'll just clean the end of that wire off, because it had come off and there was no bare wire showing. So let's just touch it where it's supposed to go before we solder it back on. So obviously something so simple like that can open up a whole world of pain. But I guess that's kind of why we do it, find these little faults. Okay, I'll get on, solder this back on where it should be. Perhaps it doesn't, I'm still not happy, it doesn't look too solid in there. I don't want to pull the plug out because it's got one of them horrible star washers on. I think what I'll do is, oh look, see there, this is how easy it is. I've just touched that and now this wire's come off. I think I might have to pull the whole lot out and do a proper job, eh? Okay, so I nearly ended up bypassing the switch altogether, to be honest, but I didn't do. These are bits of heatsink ready to go on. So we've got that connection remade. We're going to cover that with heatsink, and then just the red wire. Can you see? Let's get in a bit closer. Sorry about this close-up stuff. I'm not sure if it's working well. So I've got the red wire to go onto here, and the blue wire to go onto here. The green and black go onto this resistor that then connects to the plug. I think that the resistor's it's not aftermarket. I'm sure it's to stop you make yourself go deaf if you plug headphones into the set. So I'm going to individually heat shrink this red one and blue one, put it on, and then they've got this big black piece to go over the top and make it all nice and good again. Okay. Right, okay, so there we go. That's I don't know if you can see it. Let's move this board out of the way a bit. That's that done. All individually heat shrunk, and then a bit of insulation tape at the end over the heat shrink, just because. Now what's happened is, because I've put all this heat shrink on, these wires are no longer long enough to go over these wire stays here. So what I'm going to do is tuck them up behind the board, making sure that they don't touch the speaker because we don't want them rattling about. And I will get some mini tie stays, snaps, and just tidy it all up really. You can see what I'm doing now. I'm just getting the battery lead out, and that's nice and free to go onto the batteries. And then I'll get some little tie wraps and just tie that up nice and neat out of the way. It has to have a bit of space for the battery getting in and out of the set. So onwards and upwards, eh? So I'm just about to put the handle back on this this Hacker Hunter Bitsa. You've not seen the front yet, have you? It's got a little ding in there. Did try to push that out slightly, but I could see it was going to go worse and worse and worse the more I try. There's a few little ones here. I can live with that, that's fine. So I'm going to put the handle back on, and see, part of the wreck scene here is starting to lift a little bit. Don't know if you can see that there. So what I'm going to do is run some PVA glue under there, glue that back down. It's all these little tiny bits of jobs on this bits of that sort of build up, but they're worth doing because, you know, if you don't do them, I couldn't sleep anyway. I'd be thinking I should have done that. Now, something I hadn't really looked at yet is this the back panel. Now it's got the foam inserts have gone, so I think we'll just darken them up so they don't look like stains on the back. But on this side, and I didn't notice this until just now, there's a chip out of this back grille. I do have a spare back grille, and this one is a little bit loose as well. So I think we're going to change that. It's it's not very easy if you can make it a hard job. You pull these off. There's 5 pins behind the foot, one in each corner, one in the middle, and they go into insert holes, and then you just glue them back on. There's other guys with YouTube channels done how to fix them. If you look at Radio Cruncher, look at Cody's, I think may have done one. I ain't gonna video it being done because it's already been done before. In fact, this video was supposed to be a really quick short one. The last thing to do on this Hunter as well is it's only got a stub of one of its feet. So for now, what I'm going to do is this was supposed to be a quick video. I'm going to put it all back together, Put a little bit of glue on the handle. We'll give it a test and we'll leave it at that with this one, eh? Okay. So just about to pop the new feet on. All I've done with the base is used a little bit of shoe polish just to wipe over it, give it a clean, give it a wipe over with a cloth. And what I'm going to do is got some replacement feet here. I'm going to get a tiniest tiny bit of PVA glue. Just pop that on, only a tiny bit. And then oh, I didn't check actually that the holes were free. That was lucky, wasn't it? Let's check that there's not. I'm just checking in case the old leg had snapped off and got in there. That sometimes happens. Here's another one. Tiny bit of PVA glue. And finally, I've got another one knocking about somewhere. The tiniest bit. It's just a tiny bit so they don't fall out, basically. There we go. So it's got its feet. And what did we say we were going to do? Do you know, I might mask this off and respray this grill. Not sure. It looks like a circle around the dent. Hey ho. What we're going to do, this was lifting, this handle was lifting somewhere, wasn't it? Let's have a look. Oh yeah, there we go, it's lifting there. You can see that. So again, just lift it up, bit of PVA glue again. Let's get a bit more than that on, because we can always wipe it off. Let's get a big load of it on, we want it to stick down properly. Let's get that all under there. I guess I should have used a paintbrush really, but get fingers in and squidge it all through. And then finally, oh, I did the back plate. Just had a new one on. See, this one's got no chip out of it. Just pop the old one off and pop that one on, really. Again, shoe polish. Let's just go over the whole set with it. With it being a black set, we might as well just give it a spruce up with this. So a bit of shoe polish, cloth, wipe it off. Let that soak in. Same on the sides. Again, in hindsight, I should have done that while the handle was off. Oh, that's a point. It needs, on the end of the handle that you can see there, where the fixing screw is, it needs a bright putting on the end of that, which I shall do in a moment. Front. Quickly wipe that off before it stains that. It probably wouldn't stain the chrome, will it? Bottom edge. Have I done this side? No. All around. Let's get these top parts. And let's do the. We should wait for that glue to dry really. Let's do the handle anyway. And then forget we've done it and pick it up and get black hands. Well, thank you for staying with me with this video. It was supposed to be a quick 10-minute video, but it's dragged on a little bit longer than that. What I'll do now is I shall grab some, what was I going to do? Forgetting. Oh, the brights for the ends here. We'll pop a couple of brights on the ends and then we'll give it a spin and see how she sounds. Okay, let's wrap up this video on this Hacker Hunter RP38a. It's been made up of bits off other hunters to make this one. I have noticed at the end testing it, this on-off volume pot can be temperamental. It's been cleaned, but it's worn with age. It's obviously been used and perhaps had a bit of a hard life. People have used it heavy-handedly. So I think we'll change that or try to repair it in another video. For now, let's just get on with this one. Let's put the aerial up for FM.
I will see how my work progresses. But if we do have an important dinner guest, I must...
That's FM, let's try medium wave.
At time. So part of the way in which you prepared yourself to go and do sort of interesting, challenging different things was to go and do adventurous training. And in
yeah,
this case,
the bass and the treble work as well. That's good.
The Himalayas,
put
and we
that out of the way.
not very far into
and
it.
Long wave. Didn't expect to pick anything up. I usually can't pick much up on long wave in here, but it is picking up a long wave. That's it. It's done. We'll perhaps change this volume part. I'll see how it goes. If it drives me crazy, we'll swap it out. See if we can repair it, or I'll put another one in it. Okay, thanks for watching this. What was supposed to be a short video on a Hacker Hunter again. So be good to each other, and I'll catch you next time.